Let's get it. This is Life's Essential Ingredients with Jeff and a Mike, where we hope to inform, inspire, and transform lives, one essential ingredient at a time. Welcome to the show. Listeners, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Life's Essential Ingredients. We are season 3, episode 9, coming from Melbourne, Australia with Mary Henderson. And can't thank her enough for starting her day. It's 8 o'clock on Wednesday over there as we're recording this, and 1 o'clock my time on Tuesday. And so we're off, but we're on the same page and ready to rock. And first thing, where you can find our guest, best spot is just to go to our incredible website with so much wealth of information on it. And it's maryhendersoncoaching.com, maryhendersoncoaching.com. She also has her own podcast, Industry Expert. You can find on all the major platforms. And then I think the best place to find her is via LinkedIn. She has over 83,000 followers. And Mary is the founder and editor-in-chief of Authority 5.0 magazine, an incredible magazine that you can only find via LinkedIn. So make sure you check that out. So about our guest, when clients engage Mary, they access 40,000 plus hours of experience. And I got to say that again, because that is incredible. 40,000 plus hours of experience, knowledge, and wisdom in personal branding, client profiling, lead generation strategies, online course development, sales leadership, content development, and digital acumen. Mary is a heart-centered, compassionate, and tenacious entrepreneur who thrives on human transformation and witnessing people fulfill their dreams. Love it. Mary helps service-based business owners, coaches, and consultants systematize, digitalize, and commercialize their knowledge, wisdom, and skills into a scalable and profitable online business and brand so they can become an authority in their niche or industry. Mary has 20 plus years experience building 7- and 8-figure businesses and building high-performance sales team in the IT sector, and 15 years delivering online solutions for large and small businesses. She has been featured in many publications and is regarded as a thought leader in the digital sector. If that was not enough, Mary is also the founder of Lights, Camera, Action, an end-to-end coaching program that delivers tangible outcomes. Mary, thanks for developing and sharing your talents and gifts with your clients and people all over the world, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, we always start, and the listeners love this, but with the thought of the day, which is a quote that I picked after researching you, and we're 100%. And so you can say, hey, Jeff, you are way off, and this is the first time you missed it, but because it's an interesting one, but I think it's going to hit home with you. I think it's going to play throughout the episode. And I don't know if you're a Covey fan, Dr. Stephen Covey. I know you're over in Melbourne. He did work all over the world. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But in researching you, this definition just spoke to me big time. And so here it is. Trust is confidence born in 2 dimensions, character and competence. And I'm getting goosebumps, Mary, and I haven't met you. I researched you, and I could be way off, but I think I hit this one out of the park. Why would I pick that for you?
I think because you've tapped into a side of me that I don't very much talk about, but very much believe in and stand by. And, I want to flip that quote into my version. And that is that for me, trust is really understanding how to master your mind and how to co-create with the universe, and also activate our creative genius that resides at our soul level. And to me, when I can trust that process, I then can activate that creative genius and expand and become expansive, and pursue my vision and my mission in my life. That's probably how I would interpret that for me, because trust has so many meanings, but for me, it really is trusting my inner self. It's trusting my minds. It's understanding, where did those thoughts come from? Are they mine? Are they part of the mass consciousness? Were they somebody else that projected onto me? Really discerning that mastery has been my life's mission, something that I'm extremely passionate about. And the other thing I want to just add to that, Jeff, is that I truly believe in co-creating with my creator. And, you can call it universe, you can call it whatever you want. But for me, it definitely is God. And I really co-create with that entity. I see it as an entity. I have witnessed so much glory just through my own self-inquiry and understanding that notion of question and answers and going and diving deep in that place, which requires a lot of trust. And I think that when you can let go of the facade and you step into that place and understand that goals and visions are two completely different things. And when you live by your vision and you understand that there is a creator that's helping you pursue and fulfill that vision, trust plays a massive role in that. And on top of that, as Stephen Covey said, the confidence factor is a must have. You have to rise above the noise, the mind, to be able to pursue that path no matter what comes in your way. So hopefully that was a good definition.
Incredible. That was a dissertation that on your life. And, and it's fun for me. I love doing this. I would have never thought I would be hosting a podcast. And if it wasn't for COVID, this wouldn't have happened. Mike and I started this as a way to connect and just try and help one person. And now we're season 3. We have listeners in 40 countries, 560 cities. And that one person is always me. And it takes some time. And I know you host your own podcast, and my time is different right now since I'm not working professionally anymore. But what an honor for me to just get to witness you for a little bit. I spent a few hours listening to you, reading some stuff that you write, and then now just having this time and sitting in the same space with you, and everything that you just shared is everything that I've witnessed. Just to give you a tiny little bit of feedback from someone that doesn't know you and has only seen you, through the digital world, so to say, it is exactly what you just shared, is that you are sharing your gift with guidance from a higher power and sharing your heart and soul with the people that you get to serve. And I just wanted to validate, not that you need it from me, because when you are in the space where you're in, and I could be wrong, but I don't think you really need the outside validation. You have it. You have a direct line to the big fella above who is giving you and telling you, hey, you're on this path. And he's lighting up. Hey, here's where you need to go next. And so, I just wanted to congratulate you on that. And man, it's going to be so much fun. And don't get it twisted. When I'm have my head down, I'm taking notes. So I'm the one that gets the most out of these episodes. So, hey, but let's get into this thing because I want to be respectful of your time. But it's a weird question, and you can take it any which way you want. But what was life like growing up? And that's broad and go anywhere you want with it.
I love that you asked me that question because, my life growing up as a child was chaotic. It was really traumatic. I was raised with a serial narcissistic mother, and to say that my life was hell on earth is an understatement. And and I think that when you grow up as a child and you're in those circumstances where you're constantly being crushed, your confidence is constantly being crushed, every dream, every thought, every vision, all your imagination, all the things that you are as a child gets crushed, all your dreams get thrown in the bin because of course you get told every day, who do you think you are? You can't do that, you can't be that, you can't have that, etc. Growing up with that subliminal messaging at that degree really, really impacts a child. And so for me, my escapism was singing. And thankfully, my parents, I don't know how, in the grace of God, they just realized that, well, maybe we should send her singing lessons because I, had showed interest in that when I was, as young as 3 or 4. So I had professional voice training from the age of 5 to 20, but it was my escapism, Jeff. It was the only thing that I could do where I could use my voice and channel that energy that was blocked inside of me out of my mouth. It was a very, very interesting, I mean, reflecting back, I think, wow, how clever was I that I actually realized that I had to channel that energy out of me. And the best way to do that was through my voice. I was very much interested in performing arts, like I was interested in dance and theater and all of that stuff. Again, it all came down to self-expression. It was my soul was dying and wanted to activate its creative genius. And the only way that I could do that was through performing arts. But that also created a massive amounts of trauma in my adult life. And which meant that I've been on the healing path for many, many years. And, you know, Jeff, I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, I've learned so much about myself. I love who I've become. You know, all of that tenacity and the courage that I had to show to come face to face with all of that darkness, the emotion, the limiting beliefs, the thoughts, the mental mastery that I've invested in has just been absolutely phenomenal. The mentors that I've engaged have been absolutely phenomenal, who have all held space for me because clearly they could see something in me that I couldn't see at the time. And so this path was created for me. And thankfully, you know, I went down that path of the healing, personal development, you can call it whatever you want to label it. But, you know, fast forward to this moment right now, right here, right now. I mean, I couldn't imagine being any other person in any other body, in any other mind than who I am right now. Like I genuinely can look at myself in the mirror and say, oh my God, you are amazing. And with conviction and passion and love and kindness, not just, oh, you're amazing. Let's do our affirmations, you know, this morning. It's not that. It's like much, 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 much deeper than that. So, you know, but in saying all of that, you know, children that are raised from narcissistic parents, I often see they go down two paths. One is they channel their energy and they become super high achievers, or the other path is they become super passive and they literally close themselves up from the world. And I went down the high achiever path. You know, I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong, you know, to my mother. This is the voice inside my head. I was having the battle, not with her, really with myself, but it was all about proving to her, no, you know, you are not going to win this war. I'm going to win it. And so I channeled my energy into becoming a high performance leader and, you know, really exponentially grew in my corporate career very, very, very quickly. As I said, I was very tenacious, very hungry, very driven. Nothing's changed except I'm way more conscious in what I do and how I do it. And I think that's why I have such a passion to work with people who have, you know, who are sitting on so much knowledge and wisdom. And I want to take that and I want to do something with it because, you know, I believe in fulfilling dreams and, you know, and I think that journey that I had gone on as a child has really shaped the human that I want to be today, that I am today, not that I want to be, that I am today. So yes, that's the foundation.
Incredible. And again, it's reflected in everything that you do. And in listening to you, took me to another quote that I coached our girls' high school basketball team this season. And we didn't have a great year, but to tie into what you were just sharing about growing up, you know, and I'm sure you're familiar with Dr. Maya Angelou, but you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeat so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can come out of it. And oh my gosh, if I can't think of a better quote than in what you just described with what you're doing and how you're taking that pain and suffering. And first of all, you've healed yourself. And always in that process, I think we're always healing, but then taking that and sharing that with the clients that you get to serve and knowing that all people are in pain. They're all carrying something. And you've been able to figure out a way to use that as a source of strength and to rise up. And so exciting for this episode. But But I do want to get into, so it is called Life's Essential Ingredients. And you just kind of shared a whole bunch of personal stuff about your life and growing up. And I know every single day is an honor to be alive, but it's also a challenge because you got a lot going on. And again, the show is called Life's Essential Ingredients. How do you personally, what are those ingredients for you? And I know you've talked about your beliefs, but what are those key essential ingredients that allow you to continue to share your gift and bring your energy? Because you have so much energy. It's incredible listening to you and watching what you do. But yeah, what are some of those ingredients?
You know, Jeff, as you get older, I think, and when you're, you're really focused on self-mastery, the one thing that I realized about self-mastery, it all comes down to simplicity. And simplifying every aspect of my life has just been such an important part of this process. And by that, I mean, we have to decide as adults who we want in and who we want out, where we want to spend our time and where we don't want to spend our time, who we want to spend our time with, who we don't want to spend our time with. And even with things like social media, am I on it 24/7? Absolutely not, Jeff. I couldn't think of anything worse. And for me, social media, for example, I use it as my communication platform. That's it. I'm not there chasing vanity metrics. Look at me. I want to be famous. Look at me. Look at me. I couldn't think of anything more disgusting than that. It's all about me pursuing the gifts that I've been given, and I've converted that into the solution that I can bring into the world. Pretty simple as far as I'm concerned. So the simplicity in being able to articulate with clarity what you want in all aspects of your life, and knowing how to achieve all of those aspects in your life so that we can continue to become the whole person, not just part of a whole person, is something that drives me every single day. So I'm going to answer that not with things and tasks and a checklist that I have each day. Even though I do have tasks, of course, I run a business, I need to take action every day to get results. But Mary, as an individual, my life is actually pretty simple, and I think that sometimes, we have to go down that place. I mean, I also want to say that I also was one of those people that was so driven by materialism. That's the goal, that's the car I want, that's the house I want, that's the this. It was all about chasing materialism until I realized, oh my God, how limiting is that? Like, that is so limiting to say my goal is to drive that car and my whole focus is on that car. Like, really? But when I can actually put my focus in my vision, that's so expansive, because now it opens up Pandora's box and lots of opportunities, lots of conversations start channeling toward you. And it's like this heat wave that just hits you. It's our job as adults to discern what comes in and what comes out, which is why I keep coming back to that focus of mind mastery. I'm the only person that can mine the thoughts that come into my mind and do something with that. So nobody else can do anything with that. I'm in full control of where my thoughts are, but that is my absolute priority, Jeff. What comes in has to be of service, of value to my vision. And if it's not, it needs to go. So I think that's I know, as simplistic as that sounds, that is the absolute truth. I don't want to sugarcoat anything, because there's nothing to sugarcoat. It is that.
No, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And then in your introduction, your 40,000 hours of work that you put into yourself, I think that's the outcome, is that you have earned the right through the hard work that you put in and making all kinds of mistakes and chasing the wrong things to now live in this space of, no, I live in this most simple world because my goals are crystal clear with the action steps that I need to take. And that's great for you, but we got listeners all over the place that haven't put in those 40,000 hours. So what would be one tip that you could give somebody who's, caught in living in a world that is just, there's so much going on, and they know that they want to simplify things, but they don't know how?
I think the first thing is, Jeff, that every single person needs to write their vision. Honestly, there's a different energy when you write your vision to writing your goals. And I learned this over the years, Jeff. How many times have you, articulated your goals on the 1st of January? I'm going to have this, I'm going to do this, and then you get to 31st of December and you're like, oh, I achieved nothing. Because goals are finite. They're things. But if you actually write your vision, it's completely different, because you're not chasing anything. You're actually clear on, this is my path the next 12 months. Like, this is what I want. So once we're clear on that vision, the next part is, how do I manage what thoughts come into my mind? Now, can I just say, Jeff, this is probably the most important part of every human's life purpose, I believe. And what we do as humans, Jeff, is we all worship our ego. We actually worship those toxic thoughts, and we don't even know it. How many times, and anyone that's listening to this, we're all guilty of this. How many times has somebody squashed your ego, that they said something that didn't fit your little square, and you're regurgitating that conversation all night, all week, maybe the whole month. When you see them, you get triggered, and this constant evolution of toxicity is evolving and manifesting into a much, much, much bigger ecosystem within you. That person's free. You're not free. So the question is, what's happening there? Why does that actually happen to us all the time? And the reason it happens to us all the time is because we worship the ego. The ego is our master. Until we recognize that the ego is the actual, what I would call the mind virus, we need to actually stop and ask ourselves, where are these thoughts coming from? Seriously, because at a soul level, my soul doesn't think like that. My soul's saying, hey, let's get creative. Let's co-create today. Let's have fun. That's my soul. My soul's not saying, you're not good. You're a bad person. You're not good enough. You're this. That's not my soul talking to me. But the thoughts in my mind are coming from somewhere. So the question is, where are they coming from? And so this is why I believe that anyone that is in a place of feeling frustrated, stuck, you've got obstacles in your way, things are not working for you, we have to understand how to manage our mind. We have to understand and be very clear on, what is my vision? What is my legacy? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? What are the people I want to hang out with? And be clear on that vision. It's not even woo-woo. This is about understanding how to co-create with a quantum field, because the quantum field, the universe, God, is alive. It is a living, breathing organism that wants to co-create with us. And what do, Jeff? We worship the ego and we get stuck. And God or creator or universe is saying, oh, I'm waiting. Like, I want to have fun with you. I want to dance with you. Like, why do you always go back to poor me, victim mode? What that person said, that it hurt my feelings, my emotions are triggered. Well, if your emotions are triggered, why are they triggered? What's going on deep down? And we've got to dig deep. We have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
I love it. I love it. And a lot of that comes with just gaining confidence, self-confidence in who you are. And I know that's a big part of what you try and help your clients develop, and to not listen to that voice, to not listen to that ego that's trying to take them down the wrong path. What tips do you have for some of the listeners that are perhaps, struggling with their self-confidence, or allowing that voice to overpower what they know is sitting inside them wanting to come out?
Jeff, I always attribute confidence to knowledge. I really do. So, a lot of people are just running on an empty battery. We're running on a paradigm that's antiquated and it doesn't fulfill the long-term purpose or the long-term vision. So if our knowledge is limited, and we're running on a very old paradigm, the next question is, well, what are you going to do to invest and upgrade that paradigm, your knowledge base? Like because you can't grow on an old paradigm. Your brain can only give you what you've put into it. It's like an AI machine. My mentor said something to me yesterday, and he said, think of your reality, the external world, as your hardware, and the software is somewhere. I mean, that's very powerful, because we don't know where the software is, because we're co-creating with something much bigger than us. But in order to understand that, we have to upgrade our own knowledge base, get an understanding of who you are, how your mind plays a role, your emotions play a role in all the decisions that you make, and how it moves you towards self-destruction or it moves you towards victory. Like, which one do you want? So I feel that, confidence really, really starts with the desire to upgrade your knowledge first and foremost, because you know that when you attain new knowledge, you feel empowered. You feel unstoppable. It's like, I want to tell everybody about this new knowledge that I've just gained. So to me, confidence starts there. It's like, the other thing is, Jeff, that one of the reasons I work with industry experts is because they're experts in their domain, in their area of specialization. When you know your domain inside out, you have confidence. You can talk to that topic with ease and grace. And what I see a lot of people do is they say, I want to become a coach, for example, in an area that's a little bit, they know a little bit about, but not a lot about. And then they go and read 3 books, and then they claim that they're masters. But when the client asks for a much deeper and wider discussion, they hit a limitation, and that impacts their brand, because they can't even grow their business because the client's commanding for more knowledge. So unless we step into that mindset of I want to grow, I want to expand, I want to immerse myself in this knowledge, I want to become it, I want it to become a part of my DNA, so I can speak to the topic with absolute conviction. There's confidence right there.
Yes, it's palpable coming off your lips. I'm telling you that right now. You're getting me all hyped up. And I know that's what you do. You find her again, Mary Henderson coaching.com. So let's get into that for a second. And this show's not about, having you pub your business, and listeners know it's about life's essential ingredients. But
Yes.
That's what I love about it, is we get some of the best coaches from all over the world. Again, Mary's coming from Melbourne right now. So I would be crazy to not say, hey, let's coach up the listeners. So talk about your coaching and kind of what you do, and I'll leave that open-ended, and take us on that journey.
I am very passionate about what I do, Jeff, because I typically work with people who have accumulated a lot of knowledge and a lot of skills and a lot of wisdom over the years in their professional career. And what happens is that a lot of people get to 20, 30 years of experience, and most people want to leave their corporate 6-figure jobs because they're tired, but then they don't know what to do with all of that inventory. It's like, okay, well, I've got all of this knowledge, wisdom, but what do I do with it? And what I love is I love taking that inventory and organizing it into a solution that can solve one complex problem for a business or a human being. And my clients are super smart people. Many of them have PhDs. Many of them have been in C-suite roles for years and years and years, and many have actually been business owners in bricks and mortar, and they want to convert that knowledge and skill into, for example, a mentoring coaching business. And when I work with people, I'm always interested in who they are in their natural state of being, because the inventory is the foundation. We need the inventory, which is why I have a benchmark that everyone must have at least 10,000 hours dedicated to one area of specialization, because it gives me inventory. I need that. And I love working with people like that, because I always start my process by defining who they are as a brand. Because when I look at personal branding, I'm not looking at it from the standpoint of, oh, I'm going to make you famous. You're going to be the next Kardashian or the next Instagram influencer. I couldn't think of anything more repulsive. For me, personal branding is, how do I get to the creative genius in that person and activate it? That's me. That's my thought process. And it's one of the reasons why we've developed a software in my business for my clients. They tap into that software. But what it does, it gives me real data. When I have data in my hands, I can do anything with that, because I'm looking at the individual in terms of who they truly are, not who they want to be. If anyone comes to me and they say, I want to be like Oprah, I can't help you. I don't know how to turn you into Oprah. I don't know Oprah. I can't tap into Oprah's DNA. I can't make you. I just can't do that. But if you allow me to tap into you, I can help you. And that's all I'm interested in. We don't need to be like anyone else. I just want to be me. We just need to be ourselves, because inside that person is just something incredible that's waiting to be unleashed. So we start off with defining the branding, and we build that beautiful foundation. We look at all the attributes. We define all of the attributes. We look at how to convert all of their knowledge, wisdom, and skill set into an actual solution that delivers results and outcomes. Very important keywords. Not just delivers workbooks, delivers what they say they promise. Otherwise, you'll be out of business very quickly in 2023 and beyond, especially. And then we look at, okay, now we've defined the brand. We've got the solution. How do we create ecstatic brand experiences so that everyone that touches any digital asset that I have created, they get an experience, they get touched, they get moved, they've learned something, I've left a memory in their mind, I've become top of mind. Very important that we look at digital assets not through the eyes of, oh, it's just a website and it's a brochure, or, you know, it's a lead magnet or a sales funnel. That should not be the attitude. The attitude is, how do I create every person that touches my digital assets into my brand advocate? Now, that's a very different thought process. And the final part is, how do we, now that we've got all of those moving parts, create a layered lead generation strategy so I can actually start the conversation with my target audience and bring them into my ecosystem? How do I turn my prospects into paying clients by walking them through a process of getting to know me, getting to love me, that eventually will buy from me when they are ready? Now, all of that I've explained are all of the moving parts to get you from idea to an actual business ready for commercialization, like ready to take money, ready to serve. But then, Jeff, you have to become it. So starting a business is easy. You know, understanding the implementation components is hard, but becoming it is really hard. So there's three parts to starting a business. It's not just, I want to start a coaching business. It's like, I want to start a coaching business. Done. You're there. Now I need to learn how to implement all of the moving parts to have a sustainable and scalable business. You have to learn that. That's number two. But then you have to become it. And if you don't become it, you're going to be stuck in this amazing business you've just created, but you're stuck because you don't know how to actually become it. And this is something that I wrap around all of those four components. It's a very big part of what I do. And I do it because I see real life transformation in real time. And for me, my absolute passion and goal is that everyone that works with me, I want them to at least be able to create a 6-figure plus business year on year. That's my absolute goal.
Man, you said so much right there. And I love how become it is how you've ended it. And I just love, and I told Mary, off the air that C4 leaders, we make pizza now to bring people together. And everything worth having is something that needs a process. And so I decided that I wanted to be a little different. And so we make sourdough pizza, which is a lot more work. And a lot of effort that goes into that, which just listening to your process, you have these incredible leaders that come to you already. They've been established. They have over those 10,000 hours that you said is one of your benchmarks for working with one of your clients. They've been at the top of their game. In the nursing profession, there's this theorist that describes a theory of going from novice to expert. And you're taking someone that started way back before they started their career as a novice. They've ended it as an expert, and then now they come to you and they kind of have to go back through those stages again to go through your whole process and then to become it. And I just love how you painted that picture. And I guess what my question is going to be, how important, and I imagine this is a big challenge, is getting your clients the feedback that they need, because again, they were at the top of their game and then they come to you and they kind of get knocked down a little bit. And I imagine it's a little bit fragile space of having to start all over again, even though they can hopefully see the big picture. But how do you help deliver feedback that people can take and use as data and then get to that ultimate transforming themselves and their business?
Well, the thing is with my business, Jeff, that I have a system in place and people follow the system, but I also have a tribe. And I want to stress this point because this is where a lot of people, they want to start the business, they're trying to do it themselves, but they also are doing it by themselves. And this is, I think, a really, really big problem in our entrepreneurial, landscape, that everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to start a business. Everyone's trying to learn all the moving parts, but they're in complete and utter isolation. Do you know how toxic and dangerous that is? Because you're constantly one step forward, 10 back, one forward, 10 back, and you're dancing with this game of psychosis. Like really, it's just, you're constantly in self-doubt and it takes a lot of courage to break through that self-doubt if you actually have no idea how the mind plays tricks on us. So if you haven't mastered your mind, it's a really uphill battle. So for me, I have a tribe, and in my business, yes, I do work with people one-on-one, but I also have a mastermind where everyone comes together twice a week. And I cannot tell you how powerful that is. In fact, people that join my mastermind rejoin again just because of the tribe, because that support system is fundamental. And I don't believe, Jeff, in the do-it-yourself model at all. I believe in done with you or done for you, especially the done with you. So when people work with me, we're co-creating together. I don't ever want anyone to feel like I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I'm in overwhelm. What do I do next? Where am I at? Like, I want all of my clients to be in a position of empowerment so that they know that every step of the way, I'm there. I'm there. You ain't going to fall. All the tribe's there to support one another, to advocate for one another. And that's what we do. We support each other. We test each other's products out, and I think that this is very powerful when you can belong to a tribe of people who are just like you. I mean, I've got in my tribe ex people from the senior ranking people from law enforcement, in police officers, physicians, doctors, lecturers from university. Like, it's so eclectic, but all of these people have one common theme, and that is they're masters in their domain. And it's not that they're insecure about solving the problem that they know how to solve. Most people that hit that 10,000 hour rule, most of those people are 40 plus. So what happens is that the self-doubt is, oh my God, I've got to put myself out there, in the public arena on social media. And I'm really scared of that. And so my job is to show people not necessarily how to do it, but what matches your persona, what's going to bring the best out in you. This is the plan that we're going to put in place. And everything for me is strategic and deliberate. Nothing for me is let's just react and just hope for the best. Everything has to be strategic and deliberate, because by being strategic and deliberate and putting plans in place, we get a feedback loop. When we get a feedback loop, then I've got information that I can work with, and I can say to the client, hey, we've launched in that first 90 days, you got one client or you got no clients, something's wrong in the model. Something says something wrong. So then I can dissect and I can have a look. Let me look at your post. Let me look at this. I can see where the problem is. That's the problem. Let's change that and let's see what happens. So this is why done with you and belonging to a tribe is so critical, because the amount of information you collect and you can utilize to benefit your business is enormous.
Sounds like an incredible group. And how can, if there's a listener that says, man, I want to join that tribe, how would they join that?
Please feel free to book, first of all, a coaching call with me for free. I offer everyone a 45-minute coaching call, and do that first, because then we can have a much deeper conversation. I can do a gap analysis and show you where your gaps are, and then you can make an informed decision. And you can go to maryhendersoncoaching.com/apply, APPLY, or please send me an email, mary@maryhendersoncoaching.com, or just connect with me on LinkedIn or my personal Facebook page, which is Mary Henderson Coaching.
I love it. Thank you for that offer. I want to ask you a question to see if you can make it a little bit broad, just about decision making in working with people, getting the right people on your bus, so to say, and then knowing that, hey, this isn't a good fit for me. And if you can apply it to business, which is your expertise, and maybe even a little bit broader, just a overall decision making, and how people, or how maybe you have learned to develop that tool, that skill in yourself.
For me, Jeff, decision making comes down to information, because the thing is that, and this is why I always talk about feedback loops. I think that they're very, very important. And what I see is most people reacting, not responding. You can't make decisions when you react, because you're constantly reacting. You're constantly on adrenaline. It's you're always doing. When I'm making a decision, Jeff, I'm in my being state. I'm looking at my data. I'm looking at my feedback loop. I'm dissecting it. I'm understanding what's working, what's not working, when, where, who, why, what, how. I'm looking at it holistically so that I can make an informed decision, and therefore it's constructive. And then I'm responding. I'm not reacting. So when I'm making decisions, that's my benchmark. Am I reacting or am I responding to this? And if I'm reacting, it means that I don't have enough information. I'm in a place of fear. I'm not in a place of trust, which is exactly how we started this conversation. And if we're not in a place of trust, I can't respond, because I'm not basing it on fact. I'm basing it on fiction. And I don't want to do that, because that's dangerous to anyone's business. I would rather slow down but make the right decision, rather than speed up and make the wrong decision, which will impact me long term. I'm looking at a sustainable and scalable business. I'm not looking for a quick fix.
Well, I know at the start of this, and just incredible insight the whole time, and I can't believe it's already been just about time. And we end, it goes too fast for me. We end every episode with a quote from John Alston that says, the only thing you take with you when you're gone is what you leave behind. And you're a young woman, and you're going to have hopefully another 50, 60 years of living that you're going to do, and you're going to impact your clients and people all over the world like you already have, even just today with me. And I can't thank you enough. But let's get you, you're on your deathbed. You're surrounded with people that love you. You're surrounded with people that have been influential in your life, and you're getting ready to take your last breath. What is it you want to leave behind with them?
Honor your wisdom. Honor your wisdom. Wisdom is currency. It is the only thing that nobody can ever take away from you, ever, 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 ever. It lives with you, it dies with you, but it also lives on. And that for me is my absolute driver.
What a great episode. Listeners, we thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Life's Essential Ingredients. We've been on with Mary Henderson from Melbourne, Australia. Again, you can find her maryhendersoncoaching.com. And she did mention earlier in the episode about you can get on and get a call with her for free. So make sure you go to her site and you can navigate that. And Mary, thank you so much for being our guest. And it was an honor for me. I got 4 pages of notes that I'm going to flip through. And I know the listeners got a lot out of this. And you can just, again, your passion, I think, is the best word, is just so palpable. I got goosebumps 3 or 4 times in this episode, and just appreciate everything that you're doing for me, for our listeners, and for all your clients and everybody else that has the chance to interact with you. Any closing remarks from you?
Just live life to the fullest, and I think that the key is in life is that don't look back, just focus on the now. And that's all we have, just right now. And it's like I woke up this morning, Jeff, and I was like, God, I'm ready to co-create. Let's go. That's my attitude every morning. So hopefully I can leave a little bit of that behind.
Well, that's how we do it. And listeners, you know what we do. Boom, baby. That just happened. We out.